I created another universe and founded paradise. For I... official.
Not this time. My brother's going solo today, so I'll be watching with you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's ready. The great magician Linny has prepared a spectacular show for us all to...
Wow! Thank you all so much for coming. Now, prepare to join...
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it's just...
No wonder. Caesar was a famous magician. So, how did you two first meet?
Well, I was out on the street one. Children love magic because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained. Caesar, and somehow, I felt drawn to him too.
Aw, that sounds so romantic.
It was with a flower. He took it in his hand, snapped it. I was so happy that day.
Oh, that's so cute!
Is that right? Then I suppose he's a romantic. After all, you never know when the people dearest to you might...
That's right. It's, Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort you, but...
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy now.
See? Even Lynette says... Wait, the Phantom Weasel? Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
What do you...
As Linny once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role and put on a flawless But once the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's time to end. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow act?
What are you talking about? Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope there will now be a brief intermission, after which Linny will perform the most electrifying... The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House.
The Phantom Weasel never did like public... Don't worry, this place will be quiet.
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid this is a big mistake for a magician to make. But thankfully, I do have a back-
Lenny? Don't we have... Lynette accused Gemma of being the real Phantom Weasel a moment...
All in good time. Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking. I know the quest-
Really? Well then, let's hear it! Paimon's...
Let's go back to the very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the court of Fontaine. But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Every day. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long, she found her ticket to freedom. After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician, Caesar. After all,
So...
Being the master deceiver she was, the Weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. Now, all that remained was to frame him. But as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's aggrieved pupil, and a new thought entered her mind. At her encouragement, Lorenzo tampered with Caesar's magic box. Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the Weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
I've got to hand it to you. You're both exceptional, but I just have one question. You seem to think that
don't worry. Look, but I never believed that he was the Weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that. He was
How disappointing. So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me? Even without a shred of evidence?
A magician is an expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. With a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick Caesar was maligned and hated by all for 10 years, but who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's—
Wait. So you mean... the whole intimidation thing was... But why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out, even at the...
Yes, why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Well, Linny, if you're so confident having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the Weasel—
An excellent answer.
Is that right?
As a matter of fact, there's one. Why would the real Weasel have targeted things that only have value to other people?
Of course. After all, if I had to guess, left to fend for herself after her parents died young. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage bins to draw on, using twigs and dirt for lack of ink and pen. This was her only source of happiness in life. But it was all she needed. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. She felt like life was This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. I detest the happiness of others. I will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true.
That's some pretty
Does this story satisfy you?
Yes, it is quite to my tastes. Thank you for helping to clear up my confusion.
That's right! Because without that, none of this would have ever come to light.
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would— Linny. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the one who—
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Still as shrewd as ever. Well, no need for me to be coy about it. Our goal was to— The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's it?
Of course we did. We made it quite clear in the letter, I believe. I shall take from you that—
10 years ago? Wait. Oh, I get it. He taught you magic back then, didn't he? For what, 10 days or something?
We remember all our debts. However, 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds and his legacy was thrown out. But we did not forget.
And? What exactly did you take from me?
Free? Caesar once told me that even though the world is filled with lies and false, I think that applies to you too. Truth can take many forms. Prized possessions with nostalgic value. Life took many things from you, and those wounds never healed. When they ached unbearably and
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that for the last 10 years, you've been living a rather uneventful life. Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own. He knew who you were and the things you'd done, and despite that, he was willing to give everything up. You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. So I think, but that truth is gone now. And I guarantee.
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Your freedom will cost you dearly. From now on, you'll be all alone in a world full of lies.
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the amazing Lenny. I'm sure you're all wondering what he has planned for the grand finale.
A high-altitude escape?
I'm sure you all remember the magician Caesar. This was the very trick that led to his fatal fall. So we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused, and that the real Weasel has now
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. I've been Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight.
Lenny, wait. You two hid a lot from Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
So,
Like Lenny said, when you're ready, let's head outside and watch the
but what about Gemma?
She'll figure out what's best for her soon enough. Oh, and if you'd like to
All right. Well, let's go and watch Lenny's finale then.
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic. Magic is hard work. Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright. We're used to that.
We're sorry. You've taught us so much, but we can't tell you the whole truth.
It's okay. Do you still remember what I told you? This world is full of lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day, you can find your own truth.
What
about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look! Behold! Linny is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape? 10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Watch out!
Mysterious. Surprising. And logic-defying. Isn't that right? This honor belongs to you, Caesar. I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Did you see that? 1 minute he was falling, and then...
How could he possibly have done...
How mysterious. I didn't blink once.
What a heart-stopping magic show! This was really... Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician Linny has fulfilled a wish on his behalf. Oh, I couldn't ask for a better grand finale.
Looks like everyone really loved Linny's grand finale. Paimon doesn't see Linny anywhere. Where'd he go? Oh, Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the usual hunt. But, oh, you mean the one where Caesar... Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda seemed like Linny's way of saying, alright, let's go look for him. Are you alright? Paimon was scared to death when the chamber...
Magic is a performance art. A magician has to get creative to keep the audience on tenterhooks. I was honestly a little nervous during the live performance. The thought of falling, sometimes I can't help but wonder did he regret taking Gemma and Lorenzo on?
You know, Paimon's been wanting to ask you about something ever since we were in Caesar's work.
After I joined the House of the Hearth. To be honest, I told you about my past before, remember? As a young boy, I survived by but I quickly realized that observation alone could only get me so far. What I saw was I needed to learn how to improve my sleight of hand, hone my We were gifted enough that we'd made some progress by ourselves, but without proper guidance.
So that's why you sought Caesar out?
Yes. We figured there was no harm in asking. But in all, we only spent 10 short days together, but he was very good to us. For instance, when he asked why I wanted to learn magic, but in truth, there was already a lot more to the story by then. After being taken in by an aristocrat for our magic talent, then what amazed me was how the lie escaped my lips even as I was hesitating over whether trust is a beautiful thing. Sadly...
Linny...
Still worried about the way I feel? But don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the House of the... After Caesar went on tour, we became busy with our missions. The next we heard of him was that he'd fallen to his death, and was now declared to be the Phantom. That night, I remembered his smile. To keep secrets is to put up walls. The longer you keep them up, the less you let people in. Then, one day, you look around. You only realize how much someone really meant to you when you lose them completely. That's why I was so confident.
Yeah, we've had to say our fair share of goodbyes during our journey, too. Delicious food, fun toys, and the Traveler by my side. You know, Traveler, doesn't that kind...
Exactly. It's the same for me and Lynette. We are the... Life has taken plenty from us, like it did from Gemma. But at least it left us with each other. That's why the darkness never consumed me and why it never will. Maybe we live in the shadows too, but alright. Time to lighten this conversation.
It was amazing! Paimon just wishes we hadn't been so distracted with the Gemma situation. Lenny...
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order, I'm afraid. The show's just finished, so my sleeves are...
Aw, come on! Surely you can think of something.
Oh, alright then. I'll give it a... Watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your hand!
Huh? My goodness, you're right. But I could have sworn I...
3, 2...
Now, have another look around.
Really? Let's see. Wow, there it is! Oh, this is a different... But more importantly, Paimon has to know how the trick is done.
Well, if you want to learn magic, you'll have to start by a...
Fine.
Since you asked so nicely, I'll share one little tip with you. Namely, the student of magic...
Is that it?
Ah, look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long. Thanks again for coming to see my I look forward to seeing you again.
All right, fine. Shall we head back down too? Oh, Paimon can't wait to read the Steambird tomorrow. Paimon, let's head to the Steambird's offices tomorrow morning and see what we...